Hello there! And welcome back to another video! Today we're going to be filling up a little sketchbook spread with some Boku no Hero Academia characters. And I want to actually run something by you just at the start of this video. The first illustration in this drawing, like the first page, it actually only took me 20 minutes to draw, and I was like very much half tempted to just post that in real time on its own. Obviously I would have had to like voice over it anyway because I was listening to music that would not be allowed on YouTube if I wasn't doing YouTube shorts the whole time. But I was just kind of wondering, since I have you here right at the start, would you prefer if these like casual sketchbook videos, if they were like slower and more real time, or do you like them sped up so you can kind of see the piece come together and not like spend 20 minutes of your day with me? In the case of it being sped up, when I do make these videos, I like to do like a little bit more, either like a more advanced sort of coloring, or in the case of this one, I did 2 pages. So I don't know, let me know. Slower, faster videos, what do you think? But yeah, basically, I'm just kind of trying to finish this sketchbook before the end of the year. I started this sketchbook that I'm working in right now in November of last year, after I had, had active sketchbooks for a real long time. I decided to try to, finish those so I could start a new one. And now this new one's been in the works for almost a year. It'll be a year in a couple of weeks, so I wanted to make sure that I got this one finished so I don't kind of like spend 2 to 3 years living with the same sketchbook. That being said, I do draw a lot of digital art, so it's not as if I'm not drawing, but I do want to keep my bookcase kind of accumulating finished books. And I also have like a couple of the books that I've purchased a while ago that I'm really interested in playing with again. So anyway, yeah, trying to finish the sketchbook relatively soon. I've got around 40 pages left. I typically don't finish every single page, but I do draw. And even in this sketchbook, it's different because typically one of my biggest kind of like cheat codes for finishing pages quickly is to use alcohol markers because they bleed through the other side. But you'll see in this page, and particularly more probably at the start of the video, that there was like marker bleed on the other side of this page. So I actually had a little drawing of Luffy from One Piece, if that's any surprise, on the other side that I did with markers, but I'm still drawing on the page directly behind because this paper is like good enough, thick enough, or whatever you want to call it, so that I don't actually need to skip a page because of the marker bleed. Like the marker definitely bleeds, but it's not that bad. So I feel bad, especially because this is the most expensive. It's an Illo sketchbook, by the way. It's the most expensive sketchbook I've ever owned. So I wanted to make sure I'm using it properly. So it's taking me a bit longer, and then also because of the quality of the paper, I also don't just want to leave pages just as like pencil sketches, so I always try to do like something. So in this case, I'm just using water-based markers to kind of get the blacks to be very blacky, and I didn't even properly erase the pencil. I left it because I kind of felt like it suited the piece, because Katsuki's kind of like grungy and like so yeah, I left a lot of the pencil marks, and I just was really casual with my lining, and I actually used like a marker. Basically, it's not really a fine liner, it's just a pure marker for the lines. That way it wasn't too thin and I wasn't like fighting with getting the boldness that I wanted. I think I did come back with a micron just a little bit at the end to add a tiny bit of hatching, but I really didn't focus on it, and I didn't add any other color. I was tempted to at least color in his eye red, but then I decided against it because then I would feel inclined to do more, and the idea here was that I wasn't going to spend too long. Plus I kind of liked the energy that came with it being like super fast. Here you're seeing me fighting with this new paint marker that I got. Still on the fence about it. I don't know if I haven't primed it correctly or if I haven't shaken it correctly, but yeah, it's just the hiragana character for ha, because of course Katsuki's just going like ha, and then I came back with literally a pentel whiteout and that kind of gave me the effect a bit more. Changing camera angle here, and we are doing page 2. This was actually 2 days apart from when I did one to when I did the other. I had intended to draw them both the same day, but a friend came over and we ended up cooking and watching movies, so time skip as well as camera angle change. This one gave me a lot more trouble in the initial steps. I was like just really fighting with it, and I just like I was like, do I remember how to draw even? I was trying to go for a little like a surprise sort of side eye, but I couldn't get him to stop looking as worried. And I mean I like the contrast between Izuku and Katsuki, but like I was still hoping for a little bit more of like, instead of just like, oh my gosh, I'm so concerned about everything. Though, considering where the manga's going right now, it makes sense that everybody's concerned about everything. No spoilers though. But yeah, I had fun with this one. I still, after I kind of like reset my brain and loosened up my shoulder, I guess, I kept it casual, I kept it simple, and then I was really kind of on the fence about how I wanted to proceed with this, because I wasn't sure if I wanted them to be like really one-to-one, same sort of just like black background and pair. But then I was like, well, Deku has dark hair and Katsuki has light hair, so I don't really want to make it so Deku's on a dark background if his hair is dark. So then I was just like, so confused. And also, it felt really empty to just leave his head like that. So I was thinking of like adding a hand doing something, and I couldn't figure out what but then I just sort of like, it's hard to see because it's so cropped, but he's basically holding his like collarbone basically with his opposite hand. And I tried to include his scars because yeah, Deku doesn't take care of his hands. And yeah, I don't know. This one, I definitely like Katsuki's more than how Deku's turned out, but Deku's was also fun, I guess. I'm not sure. I really enjoyed it. And then what I ended up deciding to do was to keep Deku's background light, but instead of using the black, you'll see me pulling it out right now, I'm using a green marker, and also it's an alcohol marker, so I decided to grab it my smudge protection just in case. I've been using this smudge protector for, I think, I'm not sure if this is the 3rd or the 4th sketchbook I've had it, but I'm really enjoying seeing how the like splotches and the like edge protection and all that is accumulating over time. I'm really going to try to keep that smudge protector for as long as possible, just to see how like smudgy I can get it. I have somewhere in one of my folders the first kind of smudge protection paper I used when I first got alcohol markers, and that one's like really fun to look at. It's got so many memories. But yeah, anyway, just I'm also trying to be really quick, I'm trying to be really loose, I'm trying to have a lot of movement, and it's also like I don't typically draw portraits at this big of a scale. Like the sketchbook is an 8x8, so it's not as if it's super tiny. That's also why I decided to not use regular fine liners, because if doing regular fine liners with the faces this close up, I felt would be a bit too delicate. So yeah, it was really cool to use something like big, bulky, and like expressive that I could get a lot of just gesture in innately. And then I grabbed my Spectrum Noir green alcohol marker from the Jazza set that I bought a couple years ago, and you can tell I've really loved these markers. They are, the red is almost dead, or both of the cool grays are almost dead. I didn't even realize that the green was this dry, because I didn't even realize that I had used this much of the green. I don't typically use green as much in my art. Like I don't have, I mean, I guess technically I have one character that has a bit of a green theme, but other than that, like, yeah, I don't know. But either way, here is the sketchbook spread. We have Katsuki and Izuku from My Hero Academia. Thank you for joining me. Let me know what you think, and yeah, I'll see you sometime.